What's up, everybody? It's Keith, and you're watching another Ghost Cult Magazine's 5-minute reviews. Today's episode, Kirk Hammett's debut solo EP, Portals, on Blackened Recordings. This is super exciting. This is the first solo release of any current member of Metallica, and only the second solo release of a former member of Metallica, including Jason Newsted's solo career over a decade ago now. The EP was produced by Kirk himself, co-written some of the tracks with Edwin Outwater from the LA Philharmonic. Some of those players also appeared on Metallica's S&M 2. He also worked with Greg Fidelman, the current Metallica producer, as well as Bob Rock, past Metallica producer. So Kirk really came out guns a-blazing on this EP, full production, great work, great collaborators, interesting cover, all kinds of stuff happening here. Portals is an instrumental solo EP on two sides of vinyl or digital, released on April 22nd, 2022, and also for Record Store Day as a limited edition vinyl. Kirk Hammett is still one of the greatest guitar players in the world, and obviously Metallica is the biggest band in the world, rock, metal, or otherwise, and this is obviously a huge event-type release. Even though Kirk has been downplaying it in the press and talking about being anxious about it, you would have to imagine he was going to come out guns a-blazing, and he totally has here on this release. The EP is composed of 4 tracks: Maiden and the Monster, The Djinn, High Plains Drifter, and The Incantation. We're going to talk about each track in brief. Kirk himself has described this EP as cinematic in nature and being the horror movie soundtrack to the movie in your mind. And he is not far off on that. We know what a big horror movie fanatic Kirk is, and this soundtrack having that horror movie feel. The EP kicks off with Maiden and the Monster, starting with a gentle acoustic piece and then layering and layering parts until it becomes this epic, brooding, dark, heavy piece, the Monster part. Really awesome, great way to start the EP, beautifully soundtracked, and great guitar stuff from Kirk. It's even got a killer Metallica-style solo. Of course, this EP is going to have guitars galore with Kirk's name all over it. The Djinn is next, and it's an epic track. It's even very heavy, and it's got the feeling of a classic chase scene in a slasher film. You can just imagine the monster or the shape or something chasing the Scream Queen down a corridor with a knife or an axe. This track is heavy, it's got great riffs, and also more killer guitar work. The Djinn is the most metal track on here. It's definitely got a whole metal section to it with killer drumming as well as an epic Pink Floyd interlude. High Plains Drifter was the first and debut single from Kirk, and that's the third track on here, which kicks off side 2 if you're listening to this on vinyl. And just like it sounds, High Plains Drifter sounds like the soundtrack to a spaghetti western, one of the great old Clint Eastwood cowboy movies of lore. You know Kirk is a huge fan of this genre also. It's got great guitar work, tremendous orchestrations. You can definitely imagine a gunslinger going through the desert chasing an adversary. The final track is The Incantation, and it sounds as foreboding as the name. It's got a very classical style to it, like a cinematic score like you would a Hans Zimmer or a classical composer, not unlike Carl Orff or Aaron Copland. It's got tremendous orchestrations from the LA Philharmonic, as well as killer guitar stuff from Kirk, with a wild solo to end the EP. It goes out on a huge flourish. There's woodwinds and brass and strings, and it is very heavy and epic feeling. I kind of want to see the movie that these tracks should go along to. Great job by Kirk. Maybe the only crime of this EP is that it is only an EP and it's short. I would love to hear a full album. Kirk, of course, could have taken this in any direction and did a big shreddy guitar album, but he chose to go in a different direction, really highlighting his songwriting skills as much as his guitar playing. We give this album an 8 out of 10. Check out our written review on the site for a more in-depth analysis. Thanks for hanging out with Ghost Cult Mag. See you soon.